What's up you guys? If you're new here, hello, my name is Brittany, and in today's video we are talking about all of my favorite makeup products of 2018. So we're going to cover only makeup. Normally I pull in like skincare, brushes, and all that stuff. We're going to focus on only makeup today, so if you guys want to see anything else in a separate video, just let me know in the comments. I also thought about doing just a drugstore specific version of this, so if you guys want to see that, just let me know. But these are going to be all of my #1 products of 2018, and there's only going to be one specific item per category just because I wanted to show you guys my die-hard favorites. And just because we are covering 2018 does not mean that these launched in 2018, because some of these are older products that I still love. Some of them are repeats from my last year's videos. So we're just going to cover all of that in today's video. So I'm going to start in the order that I would typically apply everything, and I'm going to start with my face first and then move on to eyes second. So I will leave timestamps in the description box if you guys want to skip right ahead to eyes or anything like that, but this is a fair warning right now that I'm probably going to say everything is fucking amazing. Let's just get that out there. All this stuff is fucking amazing. So let's just start with our face primer. So I don't really think it's essential to use a face primer just because there's so many foundations that I honestly prefer without a face primer. But my #1 this year was 100% the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. And I'm sure this is in everybody and their freaking mother's video this year just because this is such a bomb-ass product. And it's not only for makeup application. Even if I'm not wearing makeup and I just want to really smooth out the canvas, I can apply this and my skin just looks flawless. So I do have this on today, as I do most of the stuff that I'm going to talk about. This just makes everything look like Facetune. Like, this is literally Facetune in a compact, and I love the way it smells. It smells like all the Tatcha products. It's such an amazing product, and this does also have skincare properties in it as well. So yes, it's an expensive product, but I truly feel like there's nothing like it on the market. So I really love this. Yes, it's expensive. They do have a mini size now. I think it's $22. So if you've been eyeing this, that is a perfect way to try out this product, because that mini size will last you forever, because I've used the shit out of this and it doesn't even look like I made a dent in it. I still have so much product left. So I would definitely recommend it. I think it's amazing, and it's the best primer I have in my entire collection. So after my primer, I would go in with foundation, and I'm sure you guys can all guess, if you've been watching my videos, what foundation I'm going to say is my favorite from last year, and that is the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. This foundation is so beautiful. I think the drugstore murders it when it comes to foundation, but this is my all-time favorite just because it's a light to medium coverage, but you can build it up to full coverage. Like, I have about a medium coverage. I put 2 layers on, and it's just beautiful. You have SPF 20. The scent of it's not the best, and I don't really love the applicator on it. Like, I wish this had a pump. That would be the only thing that would put this like over the top amazing. But this is such a good foundation. I freaking love it. It's like $14 or $15. I mean, the drugstore is playing us hard when it comes to these makeup prices these days, but this is just a bomb-ass foundation. I highly recommend it. Like I said, it is light to medium coverage, but it's so buildable. It just looks beautiful on the skin. It gives you that natural looking finish, and it's gorgeous. It's like your skin, but better. It's such a good foundation. And I know a lot of people wanted me to break it down to like matte full coverage, like all these specifics of foundation, but I wanted to do, if I were to pick one, this would be it. And this is definitely the one that I would pick from 2018. I think it's bomb. So next thing would be concealer. Now, my favorite concealer of 2018 was 1000% the Sephora Collection Gel Serum Concealer. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, Brittany, why aren't you holding one up right now? It's because I ran out, okay? I actually talked about it in my last empties video. I just ran out of it. And honestly, that's just what tells me how much I loved it, because I reach for it enough when I don't wear makeup every day. Like, I very rarely go through makeup products like mascara. That's really the only thing that I ever actually go through. So the fact that I went through a concealer, that's what tells me how much I really love it. And it just looks so flattering on my under eyes. I would say it is a light to medium coverage concealer, and it just looks beautiful on my under eyes because I do have fine lines and wrinkles, and it just has like the most perfect luminosity to it. Like, it's not too much, it's just enough, has just enough coverage for me, and it's just my favorite. It's my favorite concealer that I've ever used. I think it's so beautiful. It's super inexpensive. It's drugstore price, so I really love it. That was absolutely my favorite concealer of 2018. So next thing is going to be loose powder, because I don't use pressed powders. They just don't work for me. I prefer a loose powder, and I powder my entire face. So This is probably going to be a repeat from last year if I remember correctly, but this is like my ride or die. Ever since I found this product, nothing tops it. And that is the Coty Airspun, and then I use the shade Translucent Extra Coverage. I fucking love this stuff. I love the packaging too. Like, for as bulky as it is, I don't make a mess out of this product. And I find that I don't waste the product either. It's super inexpensive. It's such a good powder, and my makeup will last all day whenever I use this powder. There's other ones that I like, but nothing tops this powder. So I love it. I believe I talked about it in last year's video. So that right there just tells you how good I think this powder is. So next thing would be contour. Now, I used to be a huge fan of contour palettes, and the more that I got into makeup, I realized how much of a waste of money it was when I could spend my money on an individual shade that I could use for contour and bronzer. But I think this is also another one that's a repeat from last year. This is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer in the shade Tan-Tastic. Now, last year, this was actually limited edition, and then they launched it as permanent this year. This is such a beautiful contour. It's the contour on my cheek right now. It's just the perfect shade for me. It's a neutral tone, which I love because when I use cooler tones, they look like I just threw mud on my face. So I could use this for contour and bronzer, and you get so much product. So this is 2 years worth of using this all the damn time, and I didn't even make a dent in it. So I love it. It is expensive, I know, but it is an amazing, amazing contour powder especially, but you can use it for bronzer as well. So I love it. I think it's well worth the money. That's it. So moving on to bronzer, I'm sure you guys are all gonna guess like all of these, but my favorite bronzer of 2018 was the Ambient Lighting Bronzer in the shade Luminous Bronze Light. I've had this for no shit like 4 or 5 years at this point, and I still have so much product in here. I use this almost every single day. It's what's on my cheeks now. It is just the most beautiful bronzing powder. I've used this on so many different skin tones, from like the fairest of fair to the darkest of dark. I use this on so many people, and it's just beautiful. I love that it has a little bit of luminosity to it because it's not too much. It just gives you like that lit from within type of look. It's just beautiful. It's a bomb product. They do sell minis of this because I know it is very expensive, but you do get more of a value when you do buy the full size. So I would recommend, if you're ever looking for products like this, the Sephora VIB sale is a perfect time to take advantage of it because Hourglass is a brand that very rarely goes on sale. But you guys know, if you've seen my videos, how much I love and talk about Hourglass products. They're just unmatched. There's truly nothing like Hourglass products. So this again was my favorite of 2018, and I believe of 2017 as well. So now we'll move on to blush. I honestly think a lot of these are repeats from last year, just because when I find products that I like, I fall in love with them, and then until something tops it, it's just like I stick to it. So my favorite blush of 2018 was the Becca Mineral Blush in the shade Songbird. This is still my go-to blush. I think it's so beautiful. I think the shade is so unique on it. And it's just beautiful. Like, Becca powders are just so gorgeous on the skin. I feel like they're right up there with Hourglass products. Blushes really aren't something that wow me often, but when I can get longevity, I can get very skin-like results from it, that's what really makes me stick to them. I've tried a lot of blushes this year. I guess it's just really hard for me to get blown away by blush. So like I said, when I find a product that I like, I stick with it. So this is still the one that I use all the time. It's what's on my cheeks right now. I think it's beautiful. I love the shade on it, but I think all Becca powders are amazing, especially their blushes. I just had to take a little dinner break, so I hope everything still looks the same. So moving on to subtle highlights, because I did a subtle highlight and a more like bam in your face highlight. So my favorite subtle highlight for 2018 was the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter in the shade Be My Highlight number 10. This reminds me a lot of the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in the shade Luminous Light, except a little bit different. I still like the Hourglass one better, but this one really surprised me this year. That's why I wanted to mention this one instead. I think this is just really beautiful for like an overall dusting around the perimeters of your face. I mean, if you have drier skin, you could probably use this everywhere if you really wanted to. But since I do have an oily T-zone, I like to focus this on all the perimeters, and it just gives me like that lit from within type of look. I really love this. It really surprised me this year. You could even wear this on your cheekbones as like a daytime appropriate highlight. So I was just really impressed by this. It's very subtle. It's beautiful, especially for like a daytime highlight. It's really nice. I think this was like $4 at Ulta. So very affordable, really beautiful, subtle highlight. So for my more intense highlight, this is actually a product that was limited edition, and this would be my limited edition product of the year. I don't know if this was launched this year or last year. I believe it was last year. But the Hourglass Ambient Metallic Strobing Palette is such a bomb highlighter palette. I don't know why they didn't make this permanent, because it is so beautiful. And I love this so much because I can use every shade in here. Like this one over here looks like it would be way too dark, but I can use all of these on my skin tone. So I really love palettes like that, because that's one thing with palettes that I noticed more, like the more that I was getting, was there was always products in there that I could never use because of the tones of them. Whereas with palettes like this, I could use all of them. I can mix them all together. It's just a beautiful palette. Like Hourglass really needs to bring this back, but they do sell these individually as well. I don't know if they're the exact shades in this, but they do sell the Ambient Metallic Strobing highlighters, I guess they're called. So really beautiful product. I love it. This was definitely a favorite of 2018 for sure. And then one thing I wanted to mention was the face palette of the year, and another product from Hourglass, because you guys know I love Hourglass. So my favorite face palette of the year was this Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked palette. I thought I was going to love the other one so much more, but as soon as I get this one, I was just like, done deal. This is like the perfect palette for me. All of these shades work so well for my skin tone, and I feel like honestly from like fair to tan would be able to use this palette. I would love to see them do more of these palettes. I know they do these types of palettes a lot during the winter time or like the holiday time, but I would love to see Hourglass do more of these, or if you could like make custom ones, I would love that. This is another limited edition product I felt that should have been permanent because it's so beautiful. But if I were to pick between the two of them for the limited edition product of the year, I would pick this metallic strobing palette over it, just because I feel like more skin tones would be able to use this. So I really love Hourglass. Like I said a million times in my videos, they are unmatched in my opinion. So that is going to be it for the face powders and stuff. And then the last thing for my face products will be my setting spray. And you guys are probably expecting me to say this Urban Decay All Nighter, but that's not the one we're gonna mention this year. My favorite setting spray this year was the Cover FX High Performance Setting Spray. Now this shit is like hairspray for your face. I'm not even exaggerating. Like when you spray this on your face, you could actually feel it like drying and setting your face. So I love it for that. But I love it especially because I do use a lot of powders, and it gives you like a film over your face. So that's something I don't really love, but I love the effect that it gives your skin, especially since, like I said, I do wear a lot of powders. It almost gives me like that luminosity slash naturalness to my skin. Like it doesn't look like I'm wearing powders at all. That's why I really love this. And I love when you shake it, you have like the little mixer in there. I just really love this. What made me initially buy this was the fact that it was high performance setting spray. Like when I put makeup on, I want it to last all day, and usually it's because I'm doing something, like I'm filming weddings or I'm going somewhere and I'm going to be wearing my makeup for a long time, and this lasts all day on my skin. Like I could feel that little bit of a film all day long. My makeup doesn't budge when I do wear this stuff, so I love this. This was definitely my favorite of 2018. So that is everything for the face. Now we'll move on to eyes. So I'm going to do two different eyeshadow palettes. One is going to be my neutral palette of 2018, and the other one will be my colorful palette. So I'm sure you guys are all going to guess what my neutral palette of 2018 was. And that is the ColourPop x Disney It's a Princess Thing eyeshadow palette. This palette was so fucking bomb and so unexpected. Like I only got it honestly because it was Disney. Like I'm a Disney freak. You can see all the Disney in my backdrop right now. I love Disney. So that was the only reason that I got it. And then the fact that it was an amazing palette, I was just like, I was not ready for this eyeshadow palette. The only thing that would have made it better is if it had a mirror, because I never used to use mirrors, but now I'm in like that routine of using a mirror with my palettes. That's the only thing that I wish this had. But this was such a bomb palette. It was 20 bucks, so really affordable. At least to me, it's affordable. I know everybody's version of affordable is different, but to me, for an eyeshadow palette for this type of quality, it is a really good price for a really amazing palette. So I love this. This was a standout eyeshadow palette for me. I do have this on my eyes right now, but I also have my colorful eyeshadow palette of the year on my eyes as well. This is the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. This blew me away, and this I actually produced my favorite look of 2018 with, and I honestly feel like this was a really underrated palette. Such a good palette, really cute packaging, really nice color story. It has the mirror in there. I think this was $16 when it first launched, and I know you can find this for like 10 or 12 bucks. Like this is a bomb-ass eyeshadow palette, and I really love the fact that it's a colorful shadow palette, but you have different types of like foils and mattes and like pressed pigments and stuff like that. This is a bomb eyeshadow palette, and for the price of it especially, these two palettes together are amazing. Like I fell so hard in love with these. These palettes both blew me away this year, so I love these. Those were my top 2 eyeshadow palettes for 2018. So after eyeshadows, I would go in with my liner. Now I'm going to talk about like my wing liner first, and then I'll get into like my eyeliner kohl's. So what I always use for my wing liner is the NYX Epic Ink Liner. This is what's on my eyes today. This just made wing liner so easy for me. I've struggled for so long with my wing liner. I still struggle with it, but this made it so much easier. Super inexpensive, it's super black, and it dries down matte, which is something that I really love. So this was my number 1 this year. This is pretty much all that I used all year. It just makes my liner super easy, so I do love this. So now I'll talk about eyeliner pencils, like what I use for my waterline. So for my black, because it is very specific, like some of these I love, but the different shades I don't really love. So I'm going to get more into detail with that. So for a black kohl liner for your waterline, I love this Ardency In Monster Liner. This is my favorite. It lasts all day. Like this does not budge on your waterline. This is such a good one. And then if I want a nude liner, I go for my Rimmel Scandalized Nude Liner. This is why I wanted to do like color specific, just because not all are created equally, you know what I mean? So if I want a nude liner, I reach for my Rimmel Scandalized. And then if I want like pops of color, these ColourPop cream gel liners are amazing. The only downfall with these is that they're very inconsistent. Like I've gotten some that are super creamy and just are perfect, and then I've also gotten some that are extremely dried out. So they are very inconsistent, unfortunately, but they're like $4 or $5, so they are more affordable / inexpensive. So I do really love these. And then I also wanted to mention these because these shades are very unique for me. I've had such a hard time finding a really nice brown eyeliner, and my favorite is the Marc Jacobs Highliner in the shade Brownie. And then I also love the shade Pink of Me in this formula as well. So I don't think all are created equally when it comes to gel liners especially. So I did want to be specific when it came to these, because I know some people are looking for black specific, nude, so on and so forth. So these are my top pick for my gel liners. So after the waterline, I would move on to mascara. My favorite this year, I actually got this in BoxyCharm and it blew me away and I used it all up. This is the Butter London Double Decker Lashes Mascara. So this reminded me a lot of the Too Faced Better Than Sex, but I like the formula of this so much more. This made my lashes just look perfect. I loved it. There's really not much else to say about a mascara. Like as long as it makes my lashes look fluttery and fluffy, that's all I really look for. And this was just my overall favorite. And I do really like that it's not a plastic applicator as well. It's just a really nice applicator. I really like it. This was just my standout one for 2018. And then while we're talking about lashes, we'll just talk about the lashes that I have on right now. My favorite lash of 2018 was these Baddie Bee lashes. I love the packaging on them. I love the quality of the lashes. My favorite style was the style Sugar Baby until like a week ago. It still is like my current favorite, but I am wearing Sugar Baby right now because this is the pair that I was loving for most of the year. So I feel like if you're looking for a more wearable but a little bit dramatic lash, this is the perfect lash for you. But I just love overall the quality that you're getting for the price that you're paying. I think it's more expensive for people that usually don't buy lashes, but for 3D mink lashes, usually lashes like these go for like 30 bucks and these are $19. So I think they're a very good price. I've worn these ones at least like 40 times by now and they still look like they're brand new. So I would gladly pay $19 for a pair of lashes for this type of quality that you're getting. So those are my favorite lashes. Now let's move on to pigment of the year. Now this is something I've never done before because I've never really purchased like individual shadows in like pots or anything like that. But this year I really expanded my horizons with like individual eye products, you know what I mean? So I wanted to do pigment of the year. So these I feel like are so underrated. Like I feel like these would be like underrated product of the year. And these are the Dose of Colors Ideal Duos. I'm wearing the shade, what is it, Disco on the inner part of my lids right now. These are beautiful. I think Disco looks more like a glitter, but I also have Shell and Pixie Dust. I've talked about these so many times. I feel like they're so underrated. They are a beautiful product. They do have a cream product in the top. I don't really love the cream product, but the loose pigment that you get in the bottom of these, like I love the packaging for one. You have a little mirror in there as well. It's just such a good product and I don't feel like enough people talk about them. And do you guys see those lids right now? Like they're popping. These are so freaking beautiful. I feel like they're really underrated. So if I were to pick like an underrated product of 2018, it would be these. So next thing, I'm like, how do I wanna tell you guys about this? Because I'm kind of cheating now because they're similar products, but they're different. Like one of them is like my individual shadow of the year and then one is like my individual glitter shadow of the year, but technically they're both glitters. Alright, so the first one is going to be Foiled Shadow of 2018. So my favorite foiled shadow of 2018 is these Hourglass Scattered Light Glitter eyeshadows, I believe they're called. I have the shades Foil and Reflect, and these are just so beautiful. They're so good. You guys have heard me talk about them like a million times. They're just the bomb. They're so beautiful. They're so foily and just, oh, I love them so much. Normally it's my Makeup Geek eyeshadows, but these like took over my life this year. I've just never really been into products like these, and then this year I went on like an individual shadow kick. It was so weird. And then I'll swatch the shade Reflect as well. These are just so beautiful on the eyes. They just give you that really nice foiled wet look. But this next one is going to be my glitter shadow of 2018. So I could not choose between these two because they're very different, but they're both technically glitter eyeshadows. But I think these look more foily, whereas this looks more glittery. So this is going to be the Marc Jacobs Sequins Glam Glitter Eyeshadow. And then I have the shade Glam Noir. These are so beautiful. These released for the holiday, but this is just like wet asphalt. It is so beautiful, but these have more of a sparkle, I think. They still have that foiliness in them, but it has more glitter in it than the Hourglass ones, so they're very different. That's what I wanted to make clear is these are technically both glitter shadows, but I don't feel like the Hourglass ones give you that glitteriness like the sequin shadows do. So I only felt it was fair to mention both because I was obsessed with both of these this year. I am dying to get more shades of these because they're amazing, and then I've said all year long, ever since that these launched, that I will own every single one of these because I think they're so beautiful. So those are going to be my top eyeshadows right there. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention is my top glitter of 2018. So you guys are probably thinking I'm going to say the Magnificent Metal Glitter and Glow eyeshadow from Stila. That's not what we're talking about today. I fell so hard in love with these Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Eyeliners, and I have the shade Catcall. I bought this initially for Valentine's Day last year, and it sat in my drawer for a while. I just think they're so beautiful. I think NYX Cosmetics sell these as well, but I thought the shades in these were much more unique. So I'm dying to get my hands on more of these because these I just love because you can be really precise. Like I do like a cut crease all the time, and then I like outline the cut crease with this. I love them for that. I love that you can use them like I did today where I just brushed it all over the center of the lid just to get like a gradient effect with my glitter. So I really love these. I really love the application on them as well. So these to me were a standout glitter product of 2018. So next thing I want to mention is brow product of the year. I'm not going to go through like brow gels or anything like that because those I don't have like a huge selection of. I wanted to talk about overall brow product of the year, and that was it. And that is going to be my Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. I could do just my brows with just this. This is all I did today. I didn't use brow gel or anything like that. This is just the best thing for my brows. There's so many things like it at the drugstore and stuff like that, but I really don't feel like anything does quite like this does for my brows. I think the shade on this is perfect. I use this shade right now, Soft Brown, and it's just perfect for my hair right now. I've used it for so long. It just applies the perfect amount of product. The formula on it is amazing, and it stays for a really long time. The main thing that I find with the dupes of this product is they apply really funny, or they don't apply as natural looking as this does. So if I were to pick any of the brow gels, Brow Wiz, brow anything, this is the #1 product that I would pick for my brows, and then everything else is just like icing on the cake type of thing. I don't feel like anything else is really necessary for my brows. It's all just kind of like extra if I'm feeling extra. So coming down to the wire, we're going to talk about lip products now. So we're going to talk about lip liner first. My favorite lip liner of 2018, if I used one because I don't really use them that often, the NYX Cosmetic Lip Liner in the shade Peekaboo Neutral. Now I really like this formula because I like a more tough formula for my lip liners because I don't want it to budge. And this is just like my perfect My Lips But Better shade. So if I were to reach for one, it would be this one. And then my lipstick of the year, I'm going to do like lipstick, lip gloss, liquid lipstick. My lipstick of the year is 1000%, as I think it was last year. It would be the NARS Audacious Lipsticks. I love these so much. The shade that I got this year was the shade Anita, but I also have Barbara and Anna. These are just the best formula. They're so long lasting on the lips, and they're just the most perfect lipstick. They're super pigmented, like one swipe application. They're amazing. These are my favorite lipsticks of all time. They're insanely expensive. I think one lipstick is like $36, but the formula on these is unlike anything else. I love them so much. And then my liquid lipstick of the year is going to be from Fenty Beauty. I have both of these on my lips right now. The shade Uncuffed is everything. This is what's on the majority of my lips, and then I have the shade Unbuttoned on the center. I will own every single one of these as well because I love the formula on these. And at first I didn't really like the applicator, but the more that I use it, I really fell in love with it. It just makes it really ideal for a really quick but precise application for your lips. So I fell so hard in love with these. And then my lip gloss of the year, you guys probably all know this if you see my videos before, the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bombs. I said it in last year's video, I'm gonna say it again. If you have not tried these yet, you done fucked up in 2018. I'm just saying, like, these are the best lip glosses I've ever tried. I've tried so many this year and nothing tops these. The two shades that launched this year were Fussy and Diamond Milk. I love them all equally. Like, they're all very different. All the ones that she launches, I will buy every single one of them because this is just my favorite. There's nothing like them. They're super hydrating on the lips and they're really intense shine, and that's what I look for. I want a glossy ass lip when I put on a gloss, and that's what these give me. So these are 1000% my favorite lip gloss of 2017 and 2018. So that is going to be everything for my makeup products specifically. And now I wanted to talk about some makeup brands that I wrote some notes about. So I wanted to first talk about the makeup product of the year. And when I chose this, I thought of like, what was the one product that I feel like I never heard anybody shut up about? And that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Times Amrezy highlighter. This was such a good highlight. That's what's on my cheeks right now. Such a bomb highlight, and it's so beautiful. I actually didn't like this when I first bought it, but as soon as I tried using it with a more dense brush, I fell so hard in love with it, and everybody loved everything about this, from the packaging, the little ripple effect in it. Amrezy is just queen, and this is just a beautiful highlight, and so many different skin tones can use this. I feel like that's why it was so sought after, because in the pan it looks really gold, but every single skin tone it looks different on. It's like the most bizarre thing, and it just gives you that wet look to the skin. It's just such a beautiful highlight. So if I were to pick any product of the year, it would be this being the product of the year. And then now I want to give a shout out to all my brands out there. So the first one I want to talk about is the up and coming of the year. And I would say Alamar Cosmetics is the up and coming brand of 2018. So Alamar Cosmetics, first of all, the way that they did this was so insanely smart because no one saw this brand coming. When I got this in my BoxyCharm, I actually almost passed it on because I'm like, I don't know who that brand is. So I really wasn't interested, and the color story was kind of like, I don't know if I love that for a palette. As soon as you try these shadows, especially the metallics, you're gonna be like, whoa. Like, they're insanely, insanely good. Like, the quality is so good, and the price is, I don't wanna say affordable because it's not quite high-end, but it's not quite drugstore. It's like right in the middle. The palettes are 28 bucks. You get a brush trio for $18. So to me, it's affordable. I don't know if it is for everybody, but to me it is. And this brand just really wowed me this year. No one saw it coming, like I said, and I feel like they were just like the up and coming. I cannot wait to see what else this brand does because I've just been blown away by all their products lately. So I'm really impressed with this brand in 2018. So my next category is going to be underdog brand of 2018. And I really feel like Beauty Bakery is the underdog. Like, they went from doing only liquid lipsticks to doing so many different products. They had a huge foundation launch this year. Like, they just had so much going on, and now they're available in Ulta. I feel like they just had a killer year. Like, they were the underdog in my opinion. I just feel like they did so much good things this year, and they're just a brand that I really enjoy seeing launch stuff because I love the whole aesthetic of the brand. So I feel like if I were to pick one brand that was the underdog of this year, it would definitely be Beauty Bakery. So my next one is going to be a consistency award. So this is going to be the brand that I feel is most consistent with their makeup launches, and that's Hourglass Cosmetics. They're one of my favorite brands because I feel like their products are so unmatched. But with Hourglass Cosmetics, they don't necessarily launch a bunch of products, but when they do launch a product, it's like bam, killer in your face. Like, throughout everything that I've tried from Hourglass, there's only been one product as of right now that I did not like. Everything else is like knockout, top of my collection. It's just, to me, they're so unmatched, like I keep saying. But they are, for me, the most consistent beauty brand, especially in 2018, but I feel like all around they're the most consistent. But the next one I wanted to talk about is the indie brand of 2018. And I really feel like that's Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Jeffree Star Cosmetics, every time they launch something, it's like a sellout product, and it's just so innovative and so different, and it's just completely out of the box. It's just, I don't know, to me it's like a breath of fresh air for the makeup industry, just because Jeffree Star is always thinking of different products that aren't necessarily out yet, or the color stories are so different. And I just feel like that's so respectable, especially for being an indie brand. So I feel like Jeffree Star really gets the Indie Brand of the Year award. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is Makeup Retailer of 2018. So if I were to pick any place to shop, and if I can find anything there, that's always where I shop, that is Ulta. Ulta is my favorite place to shop, and I love their point system. Their point system is unlike anywhere else. Sephora has a point system as well, but Ulta's is way above what Sephora's is. So if I have the option to buy something at Ulta, I always buy it there simply because of their point system. And I love the fact that they're always pulling different brands in. Like, both Sephora and Ulta are really expanding the brands that they offer at their stores. So I really love that, but I feel like Ulta just has that leg up over Sephora at the moment because of their point system. So with that being said, I feel like Ulta is ultimately the best retailer of 2018. And then the last thing I want to talk about is brand of the year. And I honestly feel like ColourPop is the brand of the year. One, because they make their own products, so that alone is incredible that they can actually make their own products in their own lab. But for two, they could not be stopped this year. Like, they were on another level. They get the brand of the year and the doing the most award this year because it seemed like every time you like opened your eyes, they were launching another like whole collection or a whole like shade range of concealers and foundations. Like, they were doing so much this year, and I feel like they had a lot of really great products. That's the only thing that I don't love about ColourPop is their products are so hit or miss, but ultimately they, to me, were the brand of the year just because of how much shit they came out with. It was insane. Like, I could not keep up with ColourPop this year because of how much they launched, and their shade ranges were so impressive. The price of them is so right. Like, they just overall do what every person I think would look for in a makeup brand. Like, all sorts of different varieties and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, I just feel like ColourPop killed it this year. So that is going to be everything for my favorite makeup of 2018. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys made videos like this, leave them in the comments down below. Let me know your guys' favorite products, what you love, what you didn't love. Leave all that in the comment section down below. And if you guys want me to do a worst makeup of 2018, let me know that too. That was a thought I had, but I'm like, maybe it's too late because it is like January 3rd when I'm filming this. Filming it a little bit late this year, but what's new? So that's going to be everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Peace!